Hi, welcome to Remade in California. I'm career coach Pat Pattison. This is a show about reinvention, inspiration, and transformation. Tools you can use if you are launching a new career or business or simply reinventing yourself. Our expert guests help us explore new educational programs, new ideas, job resources, all available to you right here in California. During this show, my specialty and what the show is really all about, remaking yourself in California, is what we're going to highlight this half hour. During this show, we'll be talking about staying relevant in Hollywood with longtime talk show host and Emmy Award-winning celebrity interviewer Reba Merrill. She's the author of Nearly Famous, Tales from the Hollywood Trenches. Also this half hour, we'll be covering rebooting your story for a new chapter with executive coach Bob Dickman, co-author of Elements of Persuasion, using storytelling to pitch better, sell faster, and win more business. But up first, I'm here with author of Facelifts, Money, and Prince Charming. Break baby boomer myths and live your best life. Actress and former tech exec Joni Marks. She's going to discuss why the decade of the 50s may be your best time to refocus and renew yourself. Tell me how that applies to renewing yourself later in life.
If you ask somebody, who are you? Often you're going to get their name. They'll put out their driver's license. This is my credit card.
Right.
This is my, you go to school and you say, I'm so-and-so's mother, I'm so-and-so's wife. If you say all that and you say, who am I? And you suddenly don't feel comfortable or you feel a void in you, it's like, this isn't all I want to be. That is the indication that you are ready to refocus and renew your life.
Now, I can tell you're somebody that might be kind of simple for. Your personality is very upbeat. What about people that have concerns and fears about making a change?
I think the main thing is that they're sitting here with people on their shoulder telling them that you can't do this, or you were trained to be this way, you're the mother, you're the school teacher, you're all these things. Whereas you need to brush those people off and sit down with yourself and say, what do I want to be now that I've grown up? Now that I'm the age I am.
So what are some of the methods they can use for that cycle of renewal?
I think the best one is exactly what you talk about on the show, which is going to community college. There's these great array of classes, and they don't have to be classes that you get a grade in, okay? So it gives you an opportunity, and what I refer to is like a child playing Let's Pretend, which is a very wonderful game which doesn't have a lot of outcomes, doesn't have a lot of expectations. But you take these classes and you say, how does this feel when I put this class on? Do I want to be a doctor? Do I want to be a teacher? Do I want to be a painter? Do I want to go into music?
In my coaching practice, I've coined the phrase montage career.
I love that. I saw that.
You're, in terms of creating different revenue streams, so you're really talking about kind of trying an experiment to see how it fits.
Yes, and what you get from that, which is the ground thing of renewing and refocusing your life, is that education gives you new thoughts, new experiences. And in order to change, you first of all have to have the thought, which then you turn into changing your behavior.
Right.
So having the thought, having the experience of being in a class or classes, and see how that feels to you.
What have been some setbacks you've had in reinventing yourself?
It's hard right now. I think I'm a very great age, and there's no commercials that want me. I just went out on 3 commercials, and they want grandmas that are 90. Well, but there are grandmas on my age.
Right.
And so in Hollywood, I don't think there's a place for women of a certain age. I mean, I think you either are young, or you're glamorous, or you're a 90-year-old woman.
They kind of have extremes, but they don't need in the middle. Is that what you're saying? Or?
Yes.
Yeah.
And when I go to auditions, I see a lot of women that are my age. That's what they have to say about that, is that they don't have opportunities. So you have all this talent, all this creative impulse to do and to be and to portray.
Right.
And we have very few avenues in order to do that, because look at television. There are very few people that are on television that are beyond 50. All of the newscasters, all of the people that were in the older generation,
Right.
they're faded away now.
So I know you have 6 tips to help people refocus and renew.
Yes.
Tell me what those are.
Well, the first one is you have to be what it is you seek.
Okay.
Instead of looking for Prince Charming, you need to be your own Prince Charming first, and then you will attract someone who is what you want.
And there's reframing.
It's reframing, yes. Yeah. And you have to be authentic. You have to authentically be yourself. You have to be able to adopt new beliefs, which will get rid of the negative interject in your head, which are these old beliefs that we grew up with, what you can't do and how you should be.
Right. There's something about a rebel in there.
Oh, yes, but you need to be independent so that you say, I am independent, I know what I want to do, and I'm going to take the steps in order to do it.
And my favorite one is about reconnecting.
Yeah, so that you reconnect with other people, so that when you go into an interaction with someone, you know what it is you're giving them, and you also know what it is that you would like in return, so that you can be present in that conversation with that person.
So you're married. How do you walk in someday and say, hey, honey, I'm quitting my job and I'm going to go reinvent myself?
Well, I saw that question and I said to myself, well, I think you need to start in stages. I think that you need not to throw off your whole economic life. So I think you could do some of this in a part-time way to see if it will generate enough revenue to maintain your lifestyle.
But hopefully, as you are a little bit later in life, you have some downsizing. So I tell people in my practice, you got to notice that maybe you can get by on less. The kids are gone, the
Yes.
college is over, maybe you have equity in the house.
Right.
So, have you experienced that with
Yes,
some of your...
and I think the most important point, which you just touched on, is that you are trading material things for internal happiness, for
Very
adventures, for a sense of accomplishment, a sense of self-worth, a sense of this is who you are and this is what I want to do with my life. So that's a really good trade-off. So if you have a spouse, I think you need to talk about what things they might want to do, and so that the two of you can downsize
Can be a team.
and each do your own projects.
Yeah, I've heard it said people are more concerned later in life with accomplishments and stuff, and what you said, more concerned about experiences, the quality of an experience.
Yes, because I live right up here where there was a fire, and the policeman's in my dining room saying you have to leave right now. So all those things, all these material things, fade, and the things that you take are very small because they have to fit into your car.
Right.
And so that's a lesson for anybody who thinks about changing their life, is think about what is important to you.
Right, how does that work? That's great. Well, thank you, Joni. Always good to have you here. Come back again. To learn more about Joni, please visit jonimarks.com. Still to come, Master Coach Bob Dickman, co-author of Elements of Persuasion, discussing personal stories after 50. Next, she's been the confessor of some of the biggest names in Hollywood, and she started this illustrious career much later in life. Don't miss my discussion with Reba Merrill, celebrity journalist who has interviewed some big names like Harrison Ford, Jennifer Aniston, Whitney Houston, and Bruce Willis.